We believe Ripple is the IMF disguised as a private company. This is part 2 of this particular series. In reality, it's probably about part 5 at this point with the whole shebang that we released. Hey, consider smashing that like if you haven't done so already. Just like Ripple being the internet of value, our mission on both of our channels is to provide you real deep dive research value that you can take away from this and learn something. We're going to jump. Let's take it back over to the topics that we had at hand.
Hey, my friend, if you're a day trader or pro, BTCC Exchange will be a game changer for you. BTCC Exchange is one of the world's most preferred and trusted crypto exchanges for day traders and pros, tailored for high volume futures and scalping. Founded in 2011, it's the longest running platform with 0 hacks, licenses in the US, Canada, EU, and more. It's a dream for traders. Top 5 on CoinMarketCap for derivatives, unmatched liquidity, rock bottom fees, plus up to 500 leverage futures. Advanced order types like TWAP and iceberg orders, plus API for algo trading. They also have one of the most user-friendly copy and leverage trading platforms in the world. Join over 600,000 traders, compounding daily scalps into explosive returns. If you're not using BTCC for your day trading, you're seriously missing out. Use my BTCC referral link on the screen, in the description, or in the pinned comment, or scan the barcode on the top right of the screen for up to 11,000 USDT rewards, up to 10% bonus on your first deposit via referral link, easy $50 minimum, and 30-day trading to unlock the bonus, up to 50% off fees and VIP perks like priority support. Leverage and copy trading is risky, so only use what you can afford to lose or seriously don't do it at all. I launched this YouTube channel to share crucial crypto insights, not to see you make reckless moves and lose your hard-earned money. Testimonials are paraphrased for clarity from real BTCC trader reviews. See description for sources. Never keep all your crypto on exchanges. Use reputable hardware wallets. Now let's get back to the video.
From the other day. Big shout out to Professor Ripple Effect with some of his research. So for one, just again, here's his account. Give him a follow, and a great researcher. All right, let's jump down to this part. It says cross-border payments and remittances. Now keep in mind, Jesse's going to inject here and interrupt purposely. I welcome it. So don't think as, we're stepping on each other's toes, because bringing up some things here. So it says here, cross-border payments and remittances remain among the most expensive financial transactions globally, with an average cost of 6.3% in 2020, far above the UN Sustainable Development Goal target of 3%. This was originally cited from the IMF back in 2021. And as you also see here, the IMF has repeatedly highlighted the structural frictions that sustain these high costs, such as limiting operating hours, fragmented infrastructures, and lack of interoperability across payment systems. Some people, of course, will point out, well, I guess maybe that Quant's the answer. In reality, there's so many answers about interoperability. For example, Axelar, right? We know about them with EVM. But whatever the case be, again, another reference to the IMF back in 24.
I'm going to cut you off and inject if you don't mind.
That's fine. Please.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You ask me to every time. So, so when it's talking about the interoperability across payment systems, specifically payment systems, that's usually that's the interledger protocol and the XRP ledger, and which Stellar also uses as well. But the interledger protocol is specifically designed for interconnecting payment systems, and then XRP plays a huge role. So the interoperability, generally, like I said, when it's talking about connecting payment systems, that's the interledger protocol and XRP for liquidity. And then the interoperability for Quant is technically the interoperability between all the legacy systems that exist to allow them to connect to unlimited amount of blockchains and to build what are called multi-chain applications, as you know very well. So they pick the best features of each chain and they build what are called MDApps, or multi-chain applications. So Quant is that true interoperability between all of different blockchains and all of different legacy systems that exist that allow them to connect the blockchain, because right now all of the different industries that we have, whether you're talking global trade, supply chain management, healthcare, it doesn't matter what it is, energy, web grids, everything is trapped in legacy systems, which means these are systems, whether it's data, software, whatever, these systems cannot speak to blockchain. And so Quant allows the interoperability. It's an operating system that allows all of these systems, these legacy systems, and all these industries that exist to connect the blockchain. And so that's the interoperability with Quant. And and interconnecting, like I said, every blockchain as well, because with Quant you can pick the best features of 100 blockchains, whatever. So that's mainly Quant. And then XLR is a cross-chain. XLR is a really amazing protocol for doing cross-chain, so it interoperability between chains, blockchains, but XLR doesn't allow for the interoperability between all the legacy systems that exist, all the systems that central bank, commercial banks, fintechs, all the systems that they exist today. XLR doesn't allow all these systems to connect into blockchain. XLR, yes, is the interoperability between blockchains. Quant is the interoperability between all the legacy systems and the blockchains, and also the blockchains as well. Quant goes way further than the XLR. I know there's a lot of mixed conceptions there. I've done a deep dive. I really encourage everybody to really look at my Quant versus XLR deep dives. I wasn't trying to put XLR down. It's a great protocol. It's a great thing that they're doing, because they're finally doing cross-chain properly. But the idea that XLR is as big as Quant is definitely incorrect. And if you watch my 2 videos I've done on that, and I show you the use cases for for Quant, trust me, like, I settled the debate there if you really want to know the truth about that. But yeah, so that's the difference. And XRP is the interledger protocol that XRP is built on, is literally the interoperability between payment systems. It's a very specific, specialized interledger protocol for payment systems. The XRP ledger is the shared ledger, unified ledger, regulated liability network, which used to be called the regulated internet of value. And Gilbert Verdian said that they're going to bring the interoperability and the programmability to the shared ledger, to the XRP ledger, and to the internet of value. Because Gilbert Verdian said we are the internet of trust. But the other day he talked about the internet of value and how they were going to offer programmability for the internet of value. Isn't that interesting? And that's what I've been telling people. The internet of value and the Finternet is not Quant. Quant is providing the programmability and the interoperability and custom APIs for the Finternet. But Quant is not the Finternet. The Finternet is the internet of value. Financial internet of value. They changed the name because they didn't want people to know it was Ripple. But the Finternet, unified ledger, is the XRP ledger. And Quant, like I said, allows the whole world to connect into the unified ledger, which is the XRP ledger, and all the other blockchains at the same time, and to provide programmability, interoperability, and custom APIs. So that's the difference. So there's the internet of value, which is XRP ledger, interledger protocol. Quant is the internet of trust, because it allows everything that exists today to connect to blockchain, and blockchain represents trust. The blockchain cannot lie. If the blockchain says something, you know it's true, because the blockchain cannot lie because of the consensus. So that's why Gilbert Verdian said we are the internet of trust. So yeah, that's your three main interoperability there, and the difference between them. And I should have said too, guys, if you're watching me for the first time, I really encourage you to watch my playlist, my Q&T playlist on my YouTube channel. I spent over 4,000 or 5,000 hours researching Quant, I think, in a period of numerous years, almost every day. And XRP, I think over 9,000 hours into XRP, easily over 9,000 hours into XRP, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 hours into Quant. I really encourage you to watch my Quant playlist. It's crazy. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's extremely interesting that Quant is technically the Microsoft Windows. It's positioned to be the next Microsoft Windows, but for the 4th industrial age. So we're going from the 3rd industrial revolution, which was the information age, which was the regular internet. Now we're moving to the 4th industrial revolution, which is technically blockchain, what we call the tokenization age, and AI as well. And Quant is that operating system, the OS system. So Microsoft Windows did for the 3rd industrial revolution. We never would have had the Internet of Information if it wasn't for Microsoft Windows. Quant is doing the same thing for the 4th industrial revolution. And Quant, what's crazy interesting is Quant is currently 1,800 times cheaper than Bitcoin right now. If you look at the market cap, it's about 150 times cheaper than XRP, and the potential amount of utility is absolutely insane. Like I said, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but I think you'll find my videos extremely interesting and extremely entertaining. I really encourage you to watch my playlist on YouTube, Q&T playlist.
So we just want to share some of that demo with you guys. Again, I shared that in the past, but there's a whole new wave of people in that regard that we want to get into, just displaying that once again. So you guys a little bit more into this. Let's pull this up on your screen. Again, back from Professor Ripple Effect. And what do we have? Well, where we left off was this part. It says, in response, the private sector actors, including Ripple, had developed technologies to address the gaps through blockchain-based settlement. Because even in that demo, you are not going to use Q&T for cross-border real-time gross settlements, not doing that. Notice how it mentioned like the audit. So for the real-time gross settlements, you're literally going to use XRP. That's why we showed that demo. Now there's other demos that show things, for example, like with trade, and that'll be XDC. I think I have another demo that talks about IOTA, but again, this is an XRP, mainly an XRP video. It may feel like it's a quant video at this point, but it's XRP. So again, settling in XRP, that's so crucial for you guys to actually see that, and that's why we showed the demo.
Yeah, I want to add something else too. Yeah, so they'll be building, like the central banks and developers and tech companies, fintechs, everybody's going to be building applications with Quant Overledger, and that application, and some of them they're going to customize into custom APIs. So they're going to build solutions, and then they're just going to customize it as an API solution. But so they're going to use Quant to build these solutions, right? And that use multiple blockchains. So it will be using XRP for settlement, and then it'll be using maybe another blockchain to monitor where the let's say you're doing global trade and you want to monitor at what point, what destination that your package has reached. And then once the package reaches destination, the transaction settles, and then maybe use another blockchain for the audit, then another blockchain maybe to pay the taxes or whatever, right? Multiple steps along the trade flow. So Quant will be used in a sense that the application will be built, the multi-chain application will be built using Quant Overledger, and they will have to pay a QNT fee to use Quant Overledger for every transaction that will be processed through Quant Overledger. Because again, the multi-chain application is being built with Quant, but the actual settlement and the liquidity, when you're going from US dollar to euro, or euro to Canadian dollar, or euro to yen, or yen to peso, or tokenized real estate to Google stock, when you're going from one asset to the other, what Max is explaining there is that bridge asset, that liquidity asset, bridge asset is XRP. It's not Quant. Quant is not a liquidity asset. Quant is not a bridge currency. Quant is a token that's capturing the value of the operating system, the utility of the operating system that they've built. But it's not a bridge asset, right? So but Quant will definitely be used, but not for the liquidity, not as a bridge asset. So that's what Max was explaining there.
I'm gonna zoom out on myself on this one. I want you guys to literally picture this, okay? So like we talk about bridges. Picture that bridge. Literally, take a moment to picture that bridge. So a lot of traffic going into an actual bridge. Sometimes you guys just want a layman's term. Who are the biggest bridges in the world? You know, how much traffic is flowing through there? I look at Ripple as in capturing a lot of that traffic going through those bridges. That's the main exchange of that traffic pouring through there. But the difference is when we talk about Quant, specifically, it's like Quant is a connector of all bridges, but everybody that wants to use those bridges have to pay like a toll. What would that toll be? It's called QNT. Now, some people point out, well, there's not enough QNT. There is enough QNT. For the same reason there's enough BTC in the world. In the future, most people won't even own a full QNT at all. So as a result, you will have little fragments, slivers, similar to like what is going on as we speak with BTC. So I just wanted to kind of break that down because, again, supply shock, in my opinion, is imminent. QNT, there's only, like 200,000 QNT on exchanges?
Oh, yeah, correct.
Yeah. My point is, I just wanted you guys kind of see that visualization. So you guys maybe live in areas where you never want to cross a bridge. Showed you guys like in the East Coast of America. I mean, you go across, George Washington Bridge, many bridges, right? But you got to pay a toll. And I just look at QNT as being that toll, but like literally instead of a few select bridges, it's literally every single bridge in the world. And even that much more than that. So again, limited supply, only 14.5 million. We were getting a little bit off topic, but we want to point some emphasis on that because it is important to highlight that. And if anything, in the thumbnail, maybe you saw a little bit of that Quant. I want to jump back into this because it's important that we do so because, again, this whole topic of we believe Ripple is the IMF disguised as a private company. Again, ongoing series. You may be new to this and you're like, I don't know who the IMF really is. I don't understand it. Just understand that the IMF, and again, we're going to jump down to this. Pull it back on the screen. This is cited from Chatham House. The IMF is so important because IMF remains the lender of last resort, literally. Well, who's going to provide that on-demand liquidity for a liquidity crisis or crises, right? I'm going to jump down to this part. It says specifically that it's like a safety net. The current global financial safety net has 4 elements: the IMF, bilateral central bank swaps, multilateral regional financial arrangements, and national foreign exchange reserves. Each has its weakness. Yeah, we know about it. Accessing IMF resources, again, if you're new, International Monetary Fund, undermines sovereignty because of the conditions attached to borrowing and the invasive monitoring required while arrangements are in place. The IMF stigma is so great that even the flexible credit line, which does not have conditions, has only been used by 3 countries: Mexico, Poland, and Colombia, at least at the time of this writing. Now, before I have Jesse inject, I want you guys to see this as well. Among central bank swaps, agreements between central banks to provide a line of credit between central banks in the event a experiences of like liquidity crunch, the Federal Reserve swap line has the most liquidity and so the most peace of mind for investors. I think if anything, this is why we highlight so many things about like FedNow. But access to these swap lines is restricted to a few rich world central banks: Canada, the United Kingdom, Japan, Switzerland, the European Central Bank, plus the agreement with Mexico. Now, if you think about Mexico, who is the head honcho with Mexico? Well, come on, guys, think about this. This is so easy if you've been following it. You have Augustine Carstens, okay? And I think, again, his connection for the Bank of International Settlements, that's, again, myself, Jesse, many others, shout out to even Channing, right? The central bank of central banks. So you see, for example, Christine Lagarde, as we highlighted in previous deep dive, her role of when she was with the IMF, her influence, especially when she was doing the thing with the IMF, but now more importantly, her role with the European Central Bank, the ECB, moving forward. And if you guys haven't seen some of my other previous deep dives, I highlighted a key speech from her where she was right from the podium and she did a call to action, and the call to action was she was talking about, look, it's now in the hands of the regulators. Like, we're already there. Like, we're already on board to get this going on. What was the onboarding, the implementation phases? These pilots have already rolled out. The whole thing of the test pilots with RLN and the RSN, because, you know, there's regulated liability network and there's regulated settlement network. Who leads the charge for settlement? Your XRPs. Those pilots have been done. You had to do that. Now we're at the part where, is it the switch? Is the switch truly ISO 222 with the November 22nd, 2025 mandate? And again, mandate for who? The entire world. United States is already on board with MX, aka ISO 222. Now it's incorporating some of this. And some people feel it's like, well, the price didn't really move much. Are you kidding me? Just literally, and look it up for yourself, 4 days after ISO 222 mandate for the United States happened, Ripple went to, or with XRP, went to all-time highs. Now you feel as though like, oh, it's only 365. That's still significant for some of you. Myself, that was 11x on my original investment. 30, I think I came into XRP at 32 cents. That's not me trying to flex and be like, oh, I'm so cool. Some of you guys came in maybe a lot lower than that many years ago. But the point is, that got us to all-time highs on that. Do you really think for a moment that if real utility is being used, that we're just going to stay stagnant? Come on, you guys are invested into utility for a reason. You would never see any utility run ever in the history of all this stuff. Technically, all this stuff are speculative assets still, until they're not, until they become disruptors. So again, I want you to chime in a little bit about this, your own take on it. I mean, we might have to do part 3, part 4, whatever the case be. We're going to keep pounding it home. We're going to keep pounding it home about this whole topic of how we believe Ripple is the IMF disguised as a private company, part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if the crypto police want to come hunt us down, hey, God bless you. We welcome it, because apparently we are making some noise, and that's a good thing.
Nice. Yep. No, I agree. Like, we haven't seen utility yet. Like, we really haven't seen utility yet. That's what's really crazy here. Like, oh my goodness, because it took time to lay the foundation, down the railroads, like everything. Like, this is not a joke. The ISO 20022, every bank in the world is going to be speaking the same format. They're going to be on the same messaging standard, and they can seamlessly send transactions instantly one another. And the payment format, the messaging format, the information about that payment is going to be the same for all the banks. So now they can send instantly. Boom, the bank receives the payment. They have the proper information about that payment because they're all following the same standard messaging format. So now they can settle instantly, because that's why, like I said before, right? That's why they needed payment format, the messaging format, the information about that payment needs to be the same for all the banks. You can't have one bank where the messaging format for the payment, where you have the recipient at the top and then the sender at the bottom and then the institution number and the branch number in the middle, and then for another bank you might have have the institution number at the top and then the branch number second and then the payment, the recipient and sender at the bottom. Like, no, like it's all convoluted. Some formats maybe have 6, 7 different lines. Other formats, they have 10 lines. It doesn't work. You have to have the same standard. Payments need to match. Payment lands in the account instantly within a few seconds. You need to know who the heck that payment belongs to. What time was it sent? Who was it sent by? What was the bank? Where are they located? Everything. So that's all being standardized, completely finished in November 22. They're not supposed to extend that again. And this is absolutely crucial for Ripple's success so that Ripple can just go bonkers. I think the ISO 20022, like, don't write anything in stone. It's just my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. It's just for entertainment purposes only. But I think the ISO 20022 is absolutely crucial in potentially seeing real utility finally after November 22 this year. So as long as they don't push the date again, I don't think they're going to push it again. But yeah, it's just to say, like, we haven't seen utility yet. They're settling 10 to 20 trillion per day right now. I think it's like $20 trillion per day is being settled. That's like what, like hundreds and like thousands and thousands of time more volume than what we're seeing go through the XRP ledger right now. It's insane. And we saw the multiplier effect, the XRP ledger multiplier effect, where you actually, if you put a purchase order on the order books of 10 billion, the market cap increased, like just with 10 billion order, the market cap does like a 400x just with 10 billion. Like, it's not, a lot of people think like, okay, the market cap of XRP is $100 billion. There would need to be $100 billion come in for the market cap to double, for the price to double. No, that's not how it works. Market cap is 10 billion, 150 billion, let's say. And just by injecting maybe 10 billion in the order books, the price can do like 30, 40, 50, 100x, let's say conservatively 50x. So it has to do with the order books, to buy and sell on the order books. It doesn't take 150 billion to double the price. It doesn't even take remotely as close as what the market cap is. Like 10%, if you have buy orders on those order books that are just maybe 5% of what the actual market cap is, it literally multiplies the price by, I think, like 20, 30, 50x or something. So, I mean, it's not a joke once you start moving trillions and trillions and trillions through the XRP ledger. Like, and you start tokenizing like debt instruments, and then the banks have to hold it as well because a lot of banks are going to be holding it. Instead of holding their dollars, they hold XRP to settle and so on and so forth. Like, there's many different utility on how, like, there's many different angles where it's going to create a huge demand for XRP. You can tokenize everything on it as well, back it by the XRP. It's unlimited. Like, what the utility that's going to come. The potential is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we haven't seen utility yet. That's the point. This has been a meme coin run. You haven't seen utility yet. And Stellar, XDC, XRP, HBAR, QNT.
Algo.
We're gonna start seeing the real utility. Yeah, IOTA. We're gonna start seeing utility now in next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, next 5 years, 10 years. We're gonna see the real potential of this invention, blockchain, the same way we saw it with the internet. You didn't see it with the internet right away, but it started. I just want to add one more thing, Max. Right now, according to Gilbert Verdi and the CEO of Quant, we are technically 1999 is when the internet took off. That's when we started having the Facebooks and Googles or whatever. Like 1999 is when the internet really started to get global adoption. So from 1999, 2005, so when it really took off, I guess. Gilbert Verdian said about six months ago, I think he said that for the blockchain, the fourth industrial revolution, which is blockchain AI, specifically he was talking about blockchain. He says right now, 6 months ago, he said that. He said we're at year 1997. If you were to compare the blockchain world where we're going with blockchain, compare it with the internet, he says we're year 1997 right now. This was 6 months ago. He said that 1997, 1998. And 1999 is where it just exploded. So, and blockchain is moving a bit faster than the internet was moving because the internet didn't have the internet, right? So because we're piggybacking off the internet, we're communicating way more faster. We're be able to build use cases and communicate and all this interoperability, blah, blah. It's moving faster because of the internet, but the internet didn't have the internet. So blockchain is moving a bit faster. But anyways, we're a year away here from mass adoption, like 6 months to 2 years. Next 2 years, I think we're going to see this like crazy adoption, and then it's going to just keep growing, right?
I agree. No, it's all right. I do agree. It's going to keep growing. Listen, we want to respect you guys this time. We're going to shut this off on this one again. This is ongoing series. I guess would be part 3. We're going to talk more about this whole thing of 20 years. Always interesting. 1968. Then you go from that to 1988. Then you go from 1988 to 2008. What's in 2008? Bitcoin white paper. More talk about these 20-year gaps. There's significance about that. We're going to cite some information. It's going to be a good, solid breakdown of a lot of this. Tune in for that. So do us a solid. If you listen to the entire outline, type in this key term into the comments, and that basically is 20 years. And we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Jesse over Apex Crypto Consulting NFA, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trends flood 110%. We'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys. Thanks, guys.